Hello, welcome to Women Talk. Remember, this is where real women engage. My name is Rita Chebet Kering, and thank you for choosing Maisha TV. You can talk to us. Our studio number is 0746 999 841, or you can leave your comment on our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, at Maisha TV KE. As usual, siko peke yangu kwa studio with this amazing lady Irene Mumbo Bushebi. Karibu Irene.
Thank you so much.
Salimia watazamaji as we start the show.
Asante sana watazamaji. We love you and we appreciate you. Every time you are seated on the other side of it, you know that all things are well. So karibu sana.
Yes, so Irene is a counselor, a wife, a mother. She is a pastor as well. So as she'll be talking to you, you'll be sure that you're getting an advice from an expert. So stick around and make sure that at the end of this program, you've gotten something. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, handling conflict in marriages. We've talked about this quite some time now. I think this is the third time, but of course we are not able to cover everything in a topic, and that is why we decided to talk about the same topic again today. So today we're going to talk about handling conflict in marriages. You can talk to us if you have a question. Remember, our studio number is on 0746 999 841. You can leave a message there, you can call, or you can WhatsApp. So Irene, as we start this discussion, what are some of the common causes? Let's start with causes of conflict in marriages.
I think the first thing is usually self or selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
You are selfish most of the time. You find that you want things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do things the way you yourself you want them done.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, you find that the other person also, if they also want for themselves, then at the end of the day, I think that is conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Conflict is disagreement between these two people, and especially in this case now we're talking about the husband and the wife.
Mm-hmm.
So when the two of them disagree and they don't get to a point where each one of them can absorb what the other has, then it means that's a conflict. So selfishness is a big thing, because once you want things for yourself, you want to do them the way you want them done, then that's one of the very basic things that helps or makes conflict to come in between. And then the second thing is usually money. I know money has become a very big thing, and the moment you find that in a marriage we have money, sometimes it's about how to use this money. It is about how the other person is using the money. It is about where do we get this money. So money has also become a very big thing in terms of conflict in the family. And then also there is the issue of trust. In marriage, trust is a very key thing. And the moment we lose trust or we misuse trust that we have, at the end of the day, this is a conflict in its own. Because losing trust is very easy, but picking it back is a big thing. And the moment it is not there, then it means that's a conflict. So either it's not still felt, and in due course you still feel that the trust that was lost will come and catch up with us. And then another thing always is when we know that we are in this marriage as two of us, and then we have, let me say power. We can say power in the family, because we know there is how power comes in. We have power bestowed on the father, power bestowed on the mother, or the woman and the man. And so sometimes we find that we want to jump over to each other's jurisdiction of power, and it brings conflict in itself. So power is also another thing. So once we have power, how do we share the power that we have in the family? And then how do we even go about it? And the other one maybe seems to be having higher power than me, then what am I supposed to do? And so that also brings conflict. Another thing also is responsibilities that we have, how we share those responsibilities. This is also a key thing, because the moment I realize this is my responsibility and I feel it's a burden on me, I want to share it out, I want to give it out to somebody else, or even if it is mine, how can the other person help me in this responsibility, so that we make it balanced? Because responsibilities are here, and sometimes we are overwhelmed with the responsibilities that are on our side, and we want the other person also to come in and help us. So I think responsibilities are also another thing that we can talk about, and so many others.
Mhm.
I think there's also this issue of how are we running this family in terms of everything that happens in the family every day. So
Mhm.
this is also another thing, because there are things I would want to do this way, the other person would want them done the other way. And so if we don't get an integral point where each one of us agrees with the other, then that's conflict in itself. Yeah, so.
Yes, you've mentioned quite a number of causes of conflict in marriages. There are some that I will wish you to give our viewer how to handle them. For instance, the issue of jurisdiction. Kuna roles tunajuanga, kuna kwa familia tunajua leadership vile inaenda. The father is the head of the family. Kuna mama ni msaidizi wake, kazi ya watoto pale. As a wife, as a mother, and also as a pastor, I'd like you to give our viewers how to solve these issues, because unapata tukiona na generation ya saizi, mtu anapata kazi, so anajiona that level yake na mwanamume wake iko same. At the end of the day, hata labda account yangu ina read kubwa.
Yeah, this has been an issue, and I think first of all we need to define our roles. You have to know what is it that you need to do, what is it that the other party is supposed to do. And once we know all these roles, the reason why these roles are here is also just to help us run this home swiftly.
Yeah.
So that at least we have shared responsibilities in terms of this is what you need to do, this is what the other person has to do. But I don't think that if we just stick to these roles as they are, maybe not all of them, but some of them, we find that if we just stick to them and we be stingy, like this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, we'll have a conflict.
Yeah.
What I would advise each one of us is that when these responsibilities are here, I think there are times when you can chip in and even help the other person. And also when these responsibilities are here, we have to realize that these responsibilities are for the soft running of the family. They are not for any other thing. When we do all these things, it's because we want our family to be healthy. So let's not look at them like we draw the line.
Yeah.
It's not for competition. It's not for earning a prize. It's for us to make sure that the family is at the level where it's supposed to be. So once we look at it in this direction, I think it will be easier for us not to start struggling back and forth with responsibilities.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking about this, you just mentioned this in terms of, women, they're supposed to maybe do things, especially in the home. They are the people who are the managers of the home. And so when it comes to this, we find that other responsibilities are added, like, they have to go out there and also fend for the family in terms of looking for financial support for the family and all that stuff. So when this comes in, that's where now the women start reasoning differently. Like, if I'm also going out to look for money, then you're also going out to look for money. Then it means everything that is done at home also, we have to do it together, which is not wrong. But if you start looking into this in this direction and then you sink into it and start drawing real deep lines on this, then the conflict will automatically come up. And so what you need to do, as I've said, is look at this as something that will enable our family to be stable. So it is not something that we are doing because we want to show who is mightier and all that stuff. So the only thing we need to do when this thing come in, because I know we've also been advocating more about the women empowerment. And so this thing automatically will come in. And we know in the near future we're going to have all our ladies maybe working and doing all this stuff. Please, don't forget about your responsibilities. Or don't start dragging your men into your responsibilities because you feel you're same in terms of the earnings and all. Yes, we know you're same. But please, can you define these responsibilities and see if I can just try to maybe use what I have to help me ease my responsibilities rather than trying to impose them on somebody else so that he feels or she feels that she's demeaned in one way or the other. I think that is not the right thing. And as I've said, it is for the family to run swiftly. So please, if you have this in mind, it will help you not to try to demean somebody, not to try to just suppress somebody because you feel you are doing the same thing now and they also now need to style up on the other hand. That is the story. I think the thing is, if we look at it in terms of we want to make our family the best, then we will do it with that in mind that, what, it's not for competition, it's not to show off, it's not, to do what. Yes, it might be a lot on me. Then the other party should also see, if now all of us are going out to look for finances for the family, then we also need to help each other on it. And you won't force somebody to do this. The way you act on it, the way, you portray what this thing is all about will help the other party to understand you. But if you try to push and bag it on somebody, then they'll feel you're trying to just get out of hand, and then conflict will creep in. So please address the other party in a way that they feel it's not about just suppressing me, it's about us sharing this responsibility, because we have to make our family run smoothly. Yeah.
Another big issue, as you said earlier, is money. Najua hata kina dada saizi, the young girls, before having a relationship or being in a relationship with a man, she has to ensure that he's well financially, and that is the cause of conflict. Pesa ikiisha along the way, you'll find that hakuna kuelewana. How should ladies handle that? Watoke waende?
I don't think, what is basic here is, what is it that is in the whole thing? I think we came together because we loved each other.
Yeah.
And when I talk about love, every time that thing rings in my mind, I remember it's about sacrifice. And if it is about sacrifice, then I don't think money should be appearing anywhere. Though I know money is something that would help us to propel this love to another level. But when we want to take it as if it is what is making our relationship or our love, then we are going to spoil it. So what is here is, as much as there is money or there is no money, I think people should not be going out to look for people who have money. Because in the end, you'll find that this money will run away. And then when you're left here, what will happen? It will also run away. But if you came here because of that relationship doesn't run away. Relationship will stay with you. And it also matters how you want this relationship to stay with you. So once money is not put in a relationship, that relationship will run. But once money is put in, then that is a big thing. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, please let us not be looking for money when we want a relationship. Please define what we want. So that you really realize when even the money is not there, the relationship still remains.
Yeah.
So as we get to this, we know that also this money, yes, we can be sacrificial to a certain point, and then it reaches that point when everybody has money, and then now it's like, as much as we came in for the relationship, I think we have enough money, so don't tell me what I don't want to hear. That is now, it's yourself now pulling down what was very core or very important in that relationship. So money should not be an issue when it comes to relationship, in terms of, when I say this, somebody is saying, what did you just say? Can you repeat it here? It's not an issue in terms of making the relationship. It is an issue in terms of supporting the relationship.
Yeah.
So if you're going to take money as something that will make the relationship, then you're spoiling it all the same.
Yeah.
Money should just come in and support you. Money should not be making the relationship, because the relationship has to remain. Si kwamba wakati pesa itaisha mtaenda, inamaanisha ni pesa ulikuja. So ikishaisha. Yeah. But if you came because of a relationship or that marriage, then it means whether what happens, the marriage still remains. Hakuna mtu ametoa marriage hapo. It's there. So please work out to see that the marriage is working. So you will use money to work out this marriage. Not that you use money to become the marriage. Money is not marriage. Marriage is itself, and then you have money. Money will just support you to work out your marriage. So I think this can be a solution to those people who think that it's just about money. Money will just be added so that your relationship looks as flowery as you want.
Money is just a flavor.
Yeah.
It is not the relationship. So usiingie kwa relationship because of money.
Sure.
You'll find yourself in a very bad situation. Well, another issue that is the major cause of conflict is trust issues, as you said. Maybe you've trusted your partner, but at the end of the day, the trust is broken along the way. How do we solve that?
Yeah, that is always something that is very painful when we start saying that, because I don't see the reason why somebody should betray the trust that is between us, because it is what holds this marriage really tight. So once it is taken off the marriage, then it's something that sometimes I feel like I don't even want to talk about it, because it ails me so much, because I know once you do something to trust, you've really done a big damage to marriage as it is. So once this happens also again, what I know is that I said we came into this, the two of us, because we loved each other. And every time the word love rings in your mind, it should be bringing with it the word sacrifice. And so sometimes it comes to a point where we need to really sacrifice, because sometimes the issues, trust, are brought in because of maybe even us, because it takes two to tango. sometimes when you see something happening, the other party might have contributed in one way or the other. Because I know when you talk about trust here is when somebody gets out of your, the trust about your love.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this, you might have contributed for this person to get to, and so we might really be pointing fingers on this person, not knowing that we contributed one way or the other. So when it comes to that, that's when you start realizing that we need to sit down and think. When something wrong happens, who caused it?
Yeah.
Why did it come into the fore? So you get to realize that one way or the other, I might have been part of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this with a lot of reservation in terms of other people who just went out of their way and did things wrong to the other party. But I'm talking also knowing that there are people who also, contributed towards one getting to a position where they've crossed the line and they've made the mistrust to come into this marriage. So when it comes to this, what I was trying to say is love is a sacrifice. And when somebody gets to a level where they've interfered with the trust that was there, I think the other party needs to really get to a point of really understanding them. If you understand them and know that maybe they did it unintentionally, they never intended to do this, maybe you pushed them a little bit further, then you also really need to come back to yourself. And as I say, selfishness is what brings a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
So when you just think about me, you won't have the open mind to see that maybe I also messed this person up one way or the other. And if you get to realize that maybe you are the cause of it, then I think you need to reflect it back and start now working towards growing it to a different level. But if you find that they just intentionally did this, then that is where even the Word of God tells us that, sometimes it forces us to get out of it because of that adultery or fornication or whatever way we give it a name. And so when it comes to that, it also has to be weighed in a way that you feel where the weight is. Yes, they might have gone out of their way to do this because maybe you didn't push them, but they just decided to do it because there was somebody else who put pressure on them. So when it comes to this, it needs a lot of reflection because trust is a deeper thing that needs deeper thinking. So don't just go in issues trust with your mind like just getting into it is done and it is no. You have to also think deeper about this. And so all the avenues must be exhausted in terms of trying to find out why and how did this person get to a level of not keeping our trust in marriage. But I'm also talking about this, warning our partners here and there, be it the man or the woman, that please don't walk into mistrust just like this. There are things you can really avoid because hakuna mtu anaendanga kwa kufanya kitu kibaya pasipo na kujua. Wewe unajua tu lakini zingine una assume that this will work out along the line. No, it just doesn't work out. Please try to put something in it. Jaribu sana kuona kwamba usilete tu issue ya kuharibu trust yenu kwa njia a very simple way. Please let it be something that has really pushed you to do this. And before it really pushes you there, we have something that I know maybe you are coming up with, is communication. Please communicate. Tell these people, you're pushing me to a level where we can end up, in this. So I think that is also something that we need to work out. Please don't just push yourself into this kwa sababu una assume ule si anaona chenye anafanya. Sasa zingine watu wengine wamepofushwa one way or another. And maybe there might be pressure from somewhere. But if we talk about this thing, we can get a solution and we can find that we don't get into the issue of putting trust out of our marriage just like that. We can do something before it gets there.
Yes, and as we talk about solving these conflicts in marriages or in relationships, there are some things which seem impossible to solve. For instance, the unfaithfulness. How can couples go about it?
Yeah, this is also another very critical thing in marriage. And going about it, solely for me, it depends on the people. What is it that we want? Sometimes the amount of effort we put for us to come together is something that we really need to reflect whenever we want to break up whatever we've put together. So this really comes to the two people who are in question here. So they have to think, how much effort did we put? And so that's where sometimes it's very easy to walk out of marriage, because you realize that there was no effort. We just looked at things around and we came together. And so that is easy. As you did look around, those things are no longer in sight. Can we go? But if there is something that was put in it, I think the moment you bring that picture between the two of you, mtapata tu hiyo kitu mmesolve haraka sana. Kwa sababu it will be about making a relationship.
Yeah.
And if there was unfaithfulness, then we will try to reflect. This is something that maybe happened once or twice in 2 years in a year. Can we just think of it and say, okay, you did this, are you ready to not do it again? So that I can, put aside that and forge ahead with what is very important. Because in such a relationship that so much was put in, I know there are other people who are dependent on such a relationship.
Yeah.
And so just breaking it all over like this is not a very good thing. So those are some of the things I think for me should be done. Whenever there is unfaithfulness, before we just call it off, can we, come together and try and reflect how much effort did we put in? Is this something that we just come in one day and just break aside? I think maybe not. So once we get there, then can we start now handling what is the root cause of this unfaithfulness?
Yeah.
Then you might find that you're even part of
the problem.
You see. So sometimes we are so fast to do things, not getting a reflection of the exact picture of what it is. So, and that calls for, in a relationship, we really need to have people who are very sober in a relationship. Not people who are just here because this is a relationship. No. You need to be very sober. How do you become sober? Think, what is it that brought us? What is it that we wanted in the first place before we got into this? So once we walk that route, you'll find that it becomes easier for us to get the reflection of everything. And if there is unfaithfulness, then we can see how to go about it. And that person who has been found in such a thing, then I think it should be your last time to do this, not to do it again. Because I think the next time it will not be anywhere for discussion again. So, and this is what even the Word of God, for those people who believe in the Word of God, the Word of God talks about if somebody messes you up, go to that person. If that person cannot listen to you, go to another person. Bring these people together, try to talk about this thing. And it gives you levels unto which you get until now you come to a level where this person has refused completely to listen to anybody. Then put that person aside. So that is always the process when it comes to unfaithfulness, especially for those the people who believe in the Word of God for this matter. And I even think other brothers who are believing in other things, they believe in God, but they believe in God in a different way. I know they also have their levels of doing this. So what we're talking about is this is how we can split this into stages and see how we can bring it back and then make it something that is very valuable, just rather than just throwing it away and saying, okay, we are done with it. Because if this is the case, then one way or the other, you might get into another relationship, the same thing will
happen. Ukweli kabisa. We are talking about handling conflict in marriages, and as Irene has just said, we can solve these issues. Kuna zile zinakaa ngumu, huyu mtu sitamsamea. I think we are done, but just sit back and reflect what effort did you put in that relationship? You can sit down, talk, and I'm sure that you'll come into an agreement. You're watching Women Talk, where real women engage. Irene is in studio. My name is Rita Kering Chebet. We are taking a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
A strong woman knows you're strength enough for the journey. But a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Mumbo Bushebi and Rita Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV.
Jaza mfuko na chapa kila nusu saa. Cheza tatua tatu na 10 bob 2 na ushinde jaza bonus ya 10,000 Kenya shillings kila siku. Istoshe, ukicheza na 70 bob au zaidi, utakamua guaranteed bonus ya shilingi 5,000 dakika 30 zijazo. Si hayo tu, jaza keja na home makeover. Jaza parking yako na a brand new tuk-tuk au pikipiki. Hapa ni kujaza na tatua. Nenda kwa M-Pesa, chagua paybill serial number 150 chagua namba zako 3 za bahati kati ya 0 na 9 ukifuatanisha na neno maisha. Cheza na kati ya shilingi 10 hadi shilingi 1000 na ujaze mfuko na chapaa kila nusu saa.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Maisha Prime News.
You deserve to know true and false. Furthermore, you are the most important person, not only to you, but to us.
With the incredible reader Karin Chebet for bold, educative information news bulletin.
I research, explore, authenticate, and prepare adequately and sufficiently.
Get the whole story Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m.
Shinda shopping na Maisha TV worth 100,000 inabamba. Hakikisha tu unaweka kati ya 50 bob hadi 2,000 upate nafasi yako ya kushinda shopping hadi 100,000. Enda M-Pesa, pay bill, weka 522533, account name 7675890. Kujua shopping free tuna Maisha TV, shopping ya mabazu. At Navaholo Technical and Vocational College, we are the Center of Excellence in Building and Civil Engineering. 2023 intake is ongoing for holders of both KCPE and KCSE certificates for artisan, certificate and diploma courses in building technology, civil engineering, land survey, plumbing, carpentry and joinery, welding and fabrication, water engineering, ICT, resource management, social work, supply chain management, general agriculture, and many more. We are registered by the Ministry of Education as a TVET institution and an examination center for NEC and CASNEB examinations. We boast of coveted learning activities and facilities sitting on a 5.5-acre land purchased by NGCDF Navaholo constituency at par with national standards. Navaholo Technical and Vocational College is located 1 kilometer from Navaholo Division Headquarters near Chebuyusi Secondary School and 400 meters off Kakamega Nambacha Bungoma Road. Since its inception in 2015, our dedicated members of faculty deliver market-driven academic courses in building and civil engineering. We admit all government and private-sponsored students under Kenya Universities and Colleges Placement Service. Welcome to Navaholo Technical and Vocational College. We value quality education and offer superb training to students at affordable school fees. Vulnerable students will get 100% sponsorship, 82% scholarship benefit, and 18% loan from the government. The extremely needy will also acquire 100% sponsorship, 70% scholarship benefit, and 30% scholarship. Loans for the needy and less needy have been doubled, and parents will only pay 7% of total fees. Call us now 0721158997. That is 0721589977. Email us at navaholotvc@gmail.com. Intake is now going on with applications from interested and suitable students. Navaholo, a center of excellence.
Welcome back. Thank you for choosing to stay here. You're watching Women Talk, where real women engage. My name is Rita Kering Tibet, and this is Masha TV. Irene is still in studio, and today we are talking about handling conflicts in marriages. We've talked about some of the issues, the common causes of conflict in marriages, and how to solve them, even if they seem too impossible to solve. But Irene has given you some of the tips on how to go about it. So we are still here, and our topic is handling conflicts in marriages. Stay tuned. You can talk to us. Our studio number is 0746-999-841. Irene, you talked about communication. You know that communication is key. Kila mahali, communication is what is able to solve a lot of issues. What role do communication and active listening play in resolving conflicts, and even ensuring that there is no conflict at all?
Yeah, I think communication, as you say, is key, and we need to communicate in our relationship, in a marriage, for this matter. And this is because, I might just assume that what you did is what I did say. But I did, maybe I need clarity on the same thing. But because I don't want to talk to you, I just move on and think what I've seen is what it is. And maybe there are underlying issues. Just like I was saying, that, sometimes we think that person has done something wrong, not knowing that we were part of it. And why did this person also just go ahead and do something wrong? It's because they thought the show that we gave them is the thing. Maybe I'm also suffering from something. So unless we sit down, and as you're saying, active listening, unless we sit down and there's somebody who is ready to listen. There's another problem. We can sit down that we are talking and not good to listen. And again, we can talk. And listening is not just being attentive like that. Listening takes, you. Are you ready to accept what you're being told? Because I can be here and seem very attentive, and that's where we are saying they show, but I'm not grasping anything. So at the end of this conversation, you leave me thinking I've got it right, but I've put in my own questions and answers that are not what you're telling me. So at the end of the day, when we leave each other, we think that we've solved this, we've created another problem. You see. So when it comes to communication, I think it's not just me sitting down with my husband and trying to just talk these things out. Am I ready to even, sitting down? I might sit down because you say just come and sit here and talk. That's why I'm sitting. But in reality, I may be standing or I'm in the kitchen. Really. So as we've been talking, you'll think we are communicating, but I'm somewhere else. So it means everything he's saying are falling on a deaf ear. And again, as much as he'll tell me everything he wants to tell me, I'll not use them. So communication is only key when we are ready and when we know what we are even, pulling together to do. And that's why I did say, sometimes it's good to sit down and reflect. What amount of effort did you put to put this relationship up? And sometimes that is what makes the communication also don't work for us. Because we might be sitting with somebody who from the start, thinking, so we are only pushing, like we are pushing together, but we are pushing in different directions. This one is going this one is going this other way. So communication here, it's only key when we really know why we are here and what we are communicating about. So otherwise it might be communication. So many people have sat down with their spouses and they were talking. At the end of the day, you even find that even after talking, ndio mtu ametoka pengine amecommit suicide. You know why? Kwa sababu anafikiria, why is this person talking to me? Sitaki hata nimsikie sauti yake. I'm fed up with the voice and everything. So, na alikuwa nakusikiza tu pengine asemi hata kitu. Anatoka tu hapo anaenda na anafanya vitu yake. Why? Kwa sababu hataki. So we also have to know when we are communicating. Are we communicating with somebody who is ready for the communication? Or we are just talking? And you did put it right, the active, listening. If somebody is listening, you'll know if they are grasping, because the communication is one way and the other. It is both ways. You can't say we are communicating and just listening.
No response, no anything.
Yeah. And even at the end of it, I ask you, do you have anything to tell me? We have not communicated. Communication means we have to be active here. You have to talk, I have to talk. And when I'm saying about talking, I'm not saying when now tempers grow. Because that is not communication again. Communication means maybe you tell me something up to some point, I also bring in what I think, you know, and then we try to resolve. This is what you think, this is what I think. Then where can we reach where it is a point where each one of us gets to agree? Then we will have communicated.
Yeah.
But when it is like you're shouting on the other end, I'm shouting on this other end, we are not communicating. We are making noise to each other. And so at the end of it, we want. So communication is key in marriage only if we understand why we're communicating and the reason why we are communicating. Are we even in this relationship? There are people who are living together but they are not in a relationship. You see, so those kind of people, if they're even talking, then there's nothing they're doing. They're not even communicating. Kwa sababu mtu wako hapa anasema si utamaliza haraka wachana naye. Because I'm not in it. So whatever you're saying, that is yours. So communication means we value what we have, which is our relationship, and we want to build it. Remember when we started, we said that every effort we are putting in, it's because we want to see a good and better family, marriage for that. And so if we are doing anything, we are doing it with all our effort to see that our marriage is at the level that it's supposed to be. So communication only becomes key and very important here when we know why, and the reason is our relationship, and are we ready to build that relationship. And so getting to that point, you know, it has brought a lot of conflicts because people just assume, I've seen you doing something, I'm like, okay, so that's what you better have done. Let me also go and show her what I can do. You know, that's communication, but now it's a communication that is for destruction. But a communication that is for building, you'll find that I'll get to you and find out, why did you do it like this? And then if me, I want to do it and I was thinking to do it like this, do you think it's right? Will it bring what we want so that it is one thing as a unit? You see, that is communication. But when I just look at you and say, okay, so that's what she's done, let me go and do something. You know, so that will not build our family or our marriage. Whenever we want to do this, let us know why we are even doing the communication. It is because of our marriage and we want to build it, we don't want to destroy.
Na umesema vizuri, unaweza kuwa umekaa, you think that you're communicating, mwenzako akili hata haiko pale, unamuuliza do you have something to add? Anakuambia no, which means we have different values and beliefs, and it is hard to change someone hakuwa kama wewe ama yeye akuchange kuwa kama yeye. How do we handle this to ensure that there is no conflict at all?
Yeah, it's also a very key thing in marriage, because kubadilisha mtu has become so things like mtu alipata sana wewe wangekupatia 32 heads na wangekupatia one teeth, you know, that person will say. I need to reason outside this box. Sometimes, you know, changing somebody is not very easy because you find that these are people who have been here and they've done this thing for the longest of all the time, or they've seen the people who came before them do this. And so when you come in and you try to change, then it will not be very easy. So in such cases, what you need to do is try to come to their level, you know, try to come to their level, because now this is your spouse, this is somebody that you will live with the rest of your life. So it will cost you nothing to come to their level, to get them and then move with them. You see that? Other people feel like, how do I come to their level? Pengine ulioa mtu mwenye hakusoma. You know? Yeah, it's a very big thing. Because wakati umeoa mtu hajasoma, pengine reasoning yake iko chini sana. Lakini kwa sababu ulimpenda ukamuoa ama uliolewa kwa huyo mtu, please come to their level. Once you get to them, it will be easier now for you to move with them. But if you try to be in your level and you're trying to push them or pull them wherever you are, itakuwa kazi mingi sana. And that is where now you find the conflict, kwa sababu itakuwa ngumu. So what I'm saying, come to their level, means please, you should be ready to accept whatever they are doing, not because it is good, but just because of your relationship. You want to build this relationship. So you will accept. Kuna vitu wanaweza fanya ambazo hazikupendezi, lakini kubaliana nao, ili katika kukubaliana nao, they feel like you're pleased with what they are doing. And in that, they'll have that mood of even listening to you. And that is what I was saying, that, you know, sometimes your body language and everything you're doing should show this person that you're ready, you know, and you're accepting to move with them. You see, so once you get to that level of where they are, then, you know, you can start from there. You'll start talking to them, they'll listen to you, kwa sababu wanaona kuheshimika. Unajua, hakuna kitu kikubwa sana kushinda mtu kujua kwamba unamheshimu. Hata kama pengine ni mtu wa chini, na hajaona watu wengi wa kumheshimu pengine. Because maybe what they've been doing is not a right thing, and so many people just you know, did away with them, and so they didn't understand what it is that they need to do next. But wewe ukaingia kwa level yao, na ukakubaliana nao, you know, they really embrace you because they feel I've found one in a kind. You know, the person who is different from every other person. The way other people have been handling me is not the same way this person is handling me. So when you get to that level, you know, now it will be easy because utakuwa umewaleta on your side. So the moment you get them on your side, now it will be easy to move with them. You know, the moment you umeshika mtu mkono, si kutembea naye itakuwa rahisi. But when they're still far away, it becomes so not very easy. So that's what I'm saying. It's not easy to change somebody, but you can move with them. So it means you have to invest a lot in you first to do this, because I know it's not very easy sometimes when you find somebody who is really maybe low below the very standard that you think you are in, and then now you want to come back to the standard, and you see that it's not a very easy. But if you manage to get there, unaona wale walimu wanafundishanga watoto wa the baby class, and ukiwaona chenye wanafanya unafikiria ni watoto, but you know what, wakishaenda na hao watoto wakasonga mahali, then watajisikia na wale watoto pia watasikia vizuri sana, because mwalimu wao, if you see somebody recognizing mwalimu wake wa those baby class and all the kindergarten thing, wanafurahi sana because waliwatoa mahali. Unajua mtu anaweza kumbuka tabia zake vile alikuwa anakuja shuleni, pengine amejisoil and all that, mwalimu huyu anamuosha kimchapa kidogo, lakini alikubaliana na yeye vile alikuwa, pengine alikuwa mtu wa kususu every time, mwalimu alimkubali. You know, there's heshima fulani ambayo wanapea wale walimu, na wale walimu pia wanawaheshimu wakiona wamekuwa watu, because they know walipitia mikono yao. So that is the same thing, we can propagate the same thing in our relationships, in terms of, you know, this person pengine ni mtu way behind, lakini kwa sababu ulimpenda, and that is where the word sacrifice still comes in.
Yeah.
Because nani alikulazimisha kumpenda? Yeah. So the moment ulimpenda, so utamchukua na zile weaknesses yako nazo, and then now start moving with that person from that level. Utapata atakukubali, na yeye pia ataona kwamba you are upping your game, na kwa sababu amekukubali na anajua kwamba anaweza kukutrust. Now the word trust now again comes in. Yeah. Anaweza kukumana, ameona watu wengine wakimpush away maybe on the same level, lakini sasa wewe umemkubali, so atakutrust kwamba wewe ni mtu, hata ukimfanyia kitu anajua kwamba unamfanyia for the good. So that brings you to a point where now you can pick this person and start moving with them. You will not have changed them once, but with time.
Yes, so it's a process. Si kitu tu abruptly unachukua mno, I want you to behave like this, ukwe kama hivi. Well, a good point there. We cannot talk about conflict and forget technology. We have the mobile phones, the internet. How do you go about it? Because hiyo sasa ndio ni kitu moja ambayo imekuja sasa ku destroy.
That is the monster of our day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is something that really needs collective effort at this point. Sababu tunajua watu wanaanza kuingia kwa mambo ya technology and stuff mapema sana. Nashangaa sana siku hizi mtoto mdogo akichukua simu yako hata anaingia places zenye wewe hujawahi ingia. Unajua, this is how it's just in their system. And so this thing, if we don't talk about it, if we don't know how to handle it, then it will ruin us completely. What I want to say in terms of relationship is that once you're in a relationship, I think, as we've said, relationship is more important than even the technology. So if you know the relationship is important, then deal with the relationship more than you deal with the technology. And I know technology will take you further, but as I've said about money, these are things that should just support us, but they are not supposed to be relationship in this.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the marriage as we are talking about it. So when it comes to this technology, the social media and all this stuff that we are going through, I think so many people are trying to find out so many things about everything here. Lakini ushajiuliza, kuna watu walikuja mbele yetu, let me say, na walifaulu pasipo na kuwa na hizi vitu. They didn't go to Google and ask, what should I do? And you know, they didn't do that. But at least at the end of the day, unaweza ona walifika mahali. What happened? It's because they valued what they had. Unaweza sema because they didn't have that money. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, they still succeeded. So it means even you can succeed with this information, and also the information that this relationship is more important than even that information that you have. Because that information that you're having is somebody doing some research, akakama up na research zake yeye, anajaribu kukusaidia nayo. Sasa ninasema anakusaidia, si kwamba ni it's what it is. It's something to just help you move back. So what you need to do is, those people in relationship, please make sure that it is not just about social media. Unapata mtu alipotea kwa simu ama kama ni laptop or the iPads and all that stuff. Hata mtoto anaongea na yeye, anamwambia enda nitakushughulikia. You know, that child looks at you and is like, I'm not important. I think that gadget is more important than you. And do you know how much you are spoiling a relationship that you really need to cultivate? You'll know it when you're old. Yes. So you might not know it now. So as much as technology is here to help us, please don't make it the relationship. Don't make it the marriage. These things are just here to support us. They are not. Kwa hivyo usipotelee na unaenda vile these things are advising you to do. Hizi ni vitu ambavyo pengine kuna mtu alifanya, and you know what somebody else did is not what you're going to do and then succeed. So it means you have to look into what is it that I have, what kind of treasures do I have that are maybe different from what this other person is telling me, because maybe they had other treasures that they didn't include here. You know, the efforts that maybe they put in, they maybe never included them in this thing that you're finding out. So wewe una run na kupepea na hii, na kumbe kuna kitu ingine ambayo huyu mtu hajakwambia. And so in that you'll find that you will hit your head mwisho pale. And at the end of the day you will have brought in the conflict about tunajaribu kuzuia. Kwa hivyo the technology is here just to support us on what you know and have about your relationship. Maybe when you can make your relationship without this. Unaona? So mambo ya kusema kwamba I want to be a good wife.
How to be a good wife.
Yes. So how to be a good wife, and then unaenda kupewa hapa information. It is not, but let it add to what you think you have, what you know you have. And then relationships are not made here. Relationships are made physically like this. So can we work it out? Don't go the way other people did there. Yours might be peculiar in a way. So please work it out as it is. So technology has come not to spoil us. Sisi wenyewe ndio tulikubali kuwa spoiled na technology.
Well, you've heard that very well said by Irene. As we wind up this discussion, what advice will you give to couples out there who are having frequent conflicts, maybe because of the causes that we just mentioned, ama zingine?
I think the first thing is please mjue kwamba ndoa yenu, the marriage is very important. Maybe vile nimesema unafikiri nasema sasa ameongea juu ya effort zenye tuliweka kwa hii ndoa. Mimi nilichukua tu kwa babu yangu niliona nikamfuata. Yeah, hakuna effort. Yeah, but I want to tell you that the moment now you got, even picking those things was an effort in a way. Because you made a decision.
Yeah.
Because otherwise if you could not have made a decision, I wouldn't chukua. So that's an effort. So that effort, can you cultivate it to something bigger? So what I'm saying here is, please, those conflicts that are coming up every other day is because you have differences. Nyinyi ni watu tofauti hapa na pale. But please, can you accept kwamba watu ni tofauti? Lakini sasa na utofauti wao wote sisi tumeamua tunataka kuwa katika ndoa. So it doesn't matter. Hizi tofauti wacha tutafute njia ya kupitana nao, lakini tuna build our relationship. Unaona? Mmoja sasa nini unaangalia mtu amejenga gorofa unashindwa alifika huko aje juu. There are a lot of things that were going in. Unapatanga wamejenga vitu kama ngazi hivyo wakienda. There's a lot of effort that was put to make sure that hiyo gorofa imefika penye imefika. So even your relationship inaweza fika mahali unataka ifike. As long as unakubali hizo vitu zinakuwa ni challenges ndio. Lakini let those challenges be lessons that you learn as you go along the way, lakini the relationship remains intact. Kuna watu wanaingia kwa ndoa wakijua kikiumana nimeenda. Nikwambie utaenda. Lakini kama umeingia kwa ndoa ukijua I'm here and I'm here to stay. So it means I have to make this. I've always told you this story about these guys who walienda kwa vita. Now when they reached the shore, the captain said, mutachoma hiyo ship with everything in it. Chenye tuko tunayo ni zile vitu tunaenda nazo vita. So for those guys as they were going knowing hakuna mali pa kukimbia kurudi. Kiumani huko lazima tupige our opponent mpaka tuwashinde ili tukirudi tunatengeneza ship nyingine ndio tuende. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
So in a marriage, when you go there still looking behind that kikiumana mimi narudi kwa wazazi, especially watu wenye wako na wazazi wakati mwingine they have a soft planning behind it. They know kikiwa mbaya
narudi nyumbani.
Assume that those people are not there. It is about you and your husband or your wife. Kwa hivyo make this one. Nyinyi mko penye mnataka kukimbia. Si hao pia they made it. That is why unafikiria utarudi. Wewe pia kutengenezea mtu mwingine. So that you want to do whenever there is something you want to go back there. So please, these conflicts can be managed the moment we realize we want to make our relationship work. And no challenges are there, and no conflicts will be there. And these conflicts help us to even know who this other person is, or even who am I, mimi mwenyewe. Wakati mwingine hatujijui. But the moment hizi conflict imekuja ndio utajua kumbe ninakuanga hivi, kwa sababu kikitoka unaweza jitokeza mpaka hata wewe mwenyewe ukajisurprise. So when those things come, you can know now how to go about even yourself, and so this will help you. So what I'm saying in essence is, let us work out our relationship. As much as conflicts are there, they will be there. Yes. Kwa sababu tuko ni watu tofauti. Lakini to accept the fact that sisi ni tofauti. Na hizi vitu zingine zimekuja tu kutusaidia, lakini the key thing is our relationship. Tusiweke mahali, lazima tuende tu.
Well said there. Fight for your relationship. Of course, there's an effort that you put in there. Huwezi kukubali just that relation, maybe at 20 years, 10 years, 1 year, just go to waste because of a simple thing that can be resolved by sitting down, communicating, and listening actively. So thank you so much, Irene, for that. I think that marks the end of our today's program, Women Talk. Today we're talking about handling conflicts in marriages, and Irene has really talked very well. And as a counselor, as a wife and as a mother, I'm sure that you've grasped something from what she just said, because she's an expert. Actually, she's an expert in this. And if you have a question, you can direct it to our phone number 0746999841, and Irene will be able to help you. My name is Rita Chibet Kering. Enjoy the rest of your view.